Today, Phone Scoop is going to take a look at the Nokia E75. It's the latest business class messaging device that has lots of features meant for the business user. Of course, that's not to say that regular folks can't get along with the E75 fine either. You'll see it's got a nice thin design. It's a narrow phone. Not bad on the thickness in this dimension either, especially considering there's a slide-out QWERTY keyboard hiding in there. On the front, we have a very compact set of navigational controls, and I will say it's a little too compact, especially for someone with thumbs of my size. These keys here, these four control keys, this is actually one key with two different functions, and I quite often found myself pressing one when I meant the other on this key, depending on how carefully you land your thumb. So you have to be a little bit careful when using the keypad controls on this phone. The numbers are also tight, but the keys do offer good travel and feedback, and it's quite easy to tell that you've pressed the keys. The D-pad is the same as we've seen on the E71 and E51. It's basically the new design they're using for the E-series devices from Nokia. Generously sized display for the front, and of course pretty good looks. Taking a quick spin around the rest of the hardware. On the left side we have ports for the micro USB and micro SD cards. These are both pretty easy to get at and hide the there's the card there and there's the port there. Along the bottom we have this charging pin charger. It's kind of odd. I thought Nokia was using to micro USB for charging all its phones, but this one still has the small pin that is used on several previous E-series devices. On the right side of the phone we have dedicated camera key and of course the volume controls. On the back you'll see the 3.2 megapixel camera and has a vanity mirror and flash there, so you can get good pictures. And along the top we have a full 3.5mm headset jack, which is a really nice addition to the E-series. This is one of the first phones from the business class line of devices to be able to use most standard stereo headphones. Of course, it is a slider and it slides sideways to reveal a full QWERTY keyboard. The keyboard has 4 rows and very generous spacing. There's a soft touch paint job covering the keys, and they're very comfortable to use. Once you get used to the width of the keyboard, you've got plenty of room for typing, and it's nice to have a 4-row keyboard. We've got 3 rows of letters and then an additional row of controls and things like that. So very well done keyboard. I like the way it functions. It feels good, and the phone, of course, has a nice footprint. Feels great in the hand, and fits in a pocket quite easily. Aside from maybe the slightly squished nature of the keys down here, the hardware is nearly as good as you're going to get for a device like this. Very solid in the hand, quality build and quality materials. Sliding mechanism feels very strong, and there's nothing cheap feeling about this device at all. So now that we've taken a look at the hardware, let's take a look at the software that's running on the Nokia E75. The E75 runs S60 Feature Pack 2, which has a slightly different appearance to Feature Pack 1, which is what you see on devices such as the original E71 and the E51, and even some of the N-series devices. One thing that's really neat about the E75 is it has this mode switcher, which we saw in the E71. This means you can basically set up 2 different profiles on this device. One for your daily work and business needs, which would have, your email, let's say, your company intranet there, and different shortcuts up there, and then you can switch it to what you would normally do, say on the weekends. So maybe you like using the camera on the weekends, and you like to listen to music, and you need to check out some maps and play some games. You can easily switch between these 2 profiles with this little switch key here. So you can see it says switch to work. We'll switch to our work profile, which will change up the list of applications that are available on this particular screen. We also have a full menu which is here, and it has basic, the basic things that you expect to see in a menu, such as access to your call log or messaging department, and other downloads and control panels. Some new icons here. This is a slightly different icon for the control panel, and all the rest of the phone's applications are here in the application folder. So you can see, for example, we have the media player. And if we were to look at the music player, I don't think this phone has any songs loaded on it right now. So, but you can basically, this is the same standard media player that's been on most previous S60 phones. And of course, we have the video center, which will look similar, and the camera, which works pretty well. They want you to hold the phone sideways to use the camera here. And it looks like all the other S60 cameras has most of the same features and functions, and all the same controls. This does use the same module that the E71 uses, so we noticed, pictures turn out good. They're pretty usable with a 3.2 megapixel camera, but they're not as good as, say, the pictures you're going to find on the N95. So we'll exit out of that. Go back to this screen, and it has a lot of Nokia's new Ovi services built in. So here's their share service, which you can see here, and here's files on Ovi. This is a way for you to send certain files up to Nokia's Ovi service for safekeeping. Going back out to the main thing here, we can go to the web, and of course this can access AT&T's 3G network, so we will do that. We'll hit internet, and even though we're in the basement, we're still getting a 3.5G signal, and it will bring up the Nokia homepage, since this is not a subsidized device by any carrier. So here's the new Nokia homepage for S60 phones, and the software that's on here is powerful. There's, it's S60. It may be getting a little long in the tooth, but there's certainly still functionality here. Very powerful for messaging and email and stuff like that. You can see a very easy setup for the email. We just hit these keys and it will jump right into a client to help you set up your email. And that includes Work and POP3, IMAP, and so on. So the E75 is a really, really good, classy design phone with a nice regular keypad on the front, and of course a full QWERTY keyboard for messaging. Runs Feature Pack 2 and has high-speed 3G access here, even in the US, and has the capable S60 Feature Pack 2 software on board. So if you're looking for a device like this, something that combines, a regular keypad with QWERTY keyboard and good messaging features, a device such as this, the Nokia E75, is definitely a good one to look at.